need them, they can get the copper cheaper than I could, and they have the 20-ton press that the die works in. And so I didn't have to invest in that. All I had to do was invest in the dies that I need, and they'll press them for me. When I need, 400 or 500 lids, I'll call him and say, hey, will you make me a 6-inch lid? And he'll press them for me with my dies. And those are pretty pricey too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are nice.
Yeah, that's a nice touch, and it's something that I felt like I needed to do because my customers who use this all the time, eventually, every once in a while need this, or they need this, or they even need this. Every once in a while. So to keep them from going to my competitors, it's been important for me to figure out how to make certain things. I have the CNC router, which is cutting these profiles, and then I have a molder that's making the molding, strips of the molding, and then I have like a copy lathe, which is one of those that's whipping wood off of it that you make a template in the CNC, a perfect template, then you take it over to the lathe, you put it in, you follow the template, and you carve out these things. So you figure out what you need, you try to figure out how to make it and try to be competitive with.
So now do your customers come to you and say, I need something different, there's these everywhere, or are you kind of sitting back and saying, okay, what are we going to do? We've got to keep ourselves fresh, so we need a little
I really have always responded to what they need.
Okay.
So I started out with this, and then somebody comes up and says, hey, I need a ball. I need a ball on a cap.
Gotcha.
And so I was buying balls, but they're expensive, and then people start belly aching about, oh boy, we can't find the wood for the ball, and it's going to be a problem, and it's going to be, you know what, it isn't going to be $5 anymore, it's going to be $25 for the same ball. So you got to figure out how to make it, because you have to control that stuff. So people say, I need a ball, and then people say, hey, do you think you can get copper caps for me? They just assume buy them from me, so that, it's like you figure out how to get them copper caps.
Right.
And
so it must be you constantly talking. It sounds like you're constantly talking to your customer and finding out what do they need, right? I mean, what and it always seems like it's always new stuff, because stuff goes in and out of style.
Right. And so I'll make special configuration lattice. I make all sorts of arbor tops. I make standard ones, but then if somebody calls and says, I need a semicircle arbor with a 56.5-inch opening, because the posts are already there, I can make it.
It's kind of a special order type thing.
Gotcha.
And that's
Do you notice that once you start, like with the balls, for example, once you made a couple of those, that kind of took off because other homeowners maybe saw them and said, oh, I want that. Did you find that happens or not?
No, just kind of filling a little need, servicing a little need. It isn't like I'm reinventing sort of like the ultimate post cap or anything, right? It's just, anything that I'm making doesn't like, people are like, oh man, that's beautiful, right? I need that one. It's sort of just, hey, you need a post cap. And so these guys that I sell to need, they call up and they say, I need 700 post caps. I need them tomorrow, And then I've got about 20 or 30 guys that are calling and saying, hey, I need 100, as fast as you can get them. I need 400, and we can make about 700 in a day, when we're cranking.
That's pushing it, yeah.
Yeah, that's pushing it. But that's what we do.
That's a lot of post caps.
Well, and the thing is, so if you have half a dozen styles there, you can get ahead a little bit too. If you've had this customer who's been a customer for 10 years and they buy 3,000, I'm just throwing a number, and they have for the last whatever, and maybe things have slowed down a little bit in the economy, but know that you're not going to get hurt.
I agree.
Too bad.
And if I had the money to put 10,000 of these things on the shelf in different sizes and style before the season started, I would do it. And maybe I will someday. But right now, that's hard to do. The wood costs a lot of money. It's hard to pay guys in the wintertime when people aren't buying it. You know what I mean?
That's right. You're kind of a seasonal business, right? People aren't putting fences in.
There was little time as I got going where people would buy, they were buying 20 cases, you know, 600, 700 caps at a time in the winter to get ready. Now,
wow.
It's
not anymore, right?
There's not as much of that anymore.
So they don't have the cash either to store it either.
And so they got to buy what they need when they need it. And that's the beauty of what I do, is because when you buy them from China to get the same price that I'm offering, you have to buy them early and you have to buy a lot. And that's who I've been competing against all along. So now the economy has changed and people don't want to put that kind of money out there. And
Still
so here
a lot
I
of uncertainty
am,
out there, sure.
ready to handle smaller orders and as fast as I can.
So you're filling that need and you can deliver much more efficiently than these other people, because they don't, and they may say it's coming next Thursday, but good chance they might not. And the guy's got his fence out there, but he's got no caps to finish off the job.
Right, because
they probably have minimum orders too. If you're ordering something, they get minimum order.
Right,
I mean,
and so the competitors are, you know, they aren't here in New England, and this is where this stuff is sold. I mean, I'm not saying it goes all around, but the northeast region of our country is where people use arbors and they use post caps and they use, you know, little bit of ornaments on their fencing and stuff. It's more. It's more typical in our area here, and so for me to be in this area, I can service people a little bit better.
That's interesting that it's only in the Northeast, huh?
It's you know,
I wouldn't have figured. You know?
I shouldn't say that because I really don't know. I mean, you know, all I know is that I sell a lot in the Northeast area, you know. But I do have customers who reach out into further, you know.
We got to get you on the internet then.
Well, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. There's the population. There's a big population in the Northeast compared to maybe other parts of the country. And so maybe you need more fencing to just to divide those property lines. I don't know.
And we're colonial here.
Yeah.
It's the style is kind of colonial. You know, the caps, the urns, the arbors. That's where we are. I think that in other parts of the country they like to replicate what we do here, aesthetically with our fences and things.
I see. These arbors. Talk about these arbors a little bit more.
An arbor is like a structure that you would walk through, walk under, walk through.
Right, yep.
And so there were three different styles. That one would be a regular, what I call a regular Medway arbor. I've named them after our towns around here, right?
I like it.
A Medway arbor. I have a picture of it. I do have a little picture of it. This is the Medway arbor. Is the semicircle. It's a semicircle, right? It's half a circle. It's an arch. Yeah. And it has some depth. It has dowels. And
hold that up then.
Right, that one, the top one. What am I doing here?
There you go.
There you go. Oh, look at those.
The top one is what I call a Medway arbor. It's a semicircle. It's what you walk through. Some people put a gate in them, and you know, I make the parts. I'll make a whole set for people, a kit with lattice on the sides and the double arches on the tops with the dowels and the 4 posts. Or I'll make parts for them. They have their own posts. I'll make the top part for them. I'll make just the lattice, whatever they need. The next style is my, I call this the Franklin. This is my Franklin style arbor. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of got sort of that soft curve, and then it extends out on the sides.
Right.
These are just sort of conceptually what's out there already. I have.
We see people putting these in their backyard or in their front yard.
Yeah, they connect them to their fences, or they let them sit alone. I just sent one up to a golf course country club up on the North Shore that they're going to use for when they do weddings. They're going to set it up, and they're going to have the people stand under it, and they're going to take their pictures and put flowers on it. So it can stand alone, or it can be part of a fence, and you can put a gate in it, and it can be walked through. And then the bottom one is I just call that an ashland pergola, and that's just a straight beams across with a little scallop on the end to show the profile, give it a little design. So, and those are things that I'm making for people, and I'm making a lot of those also.
Right.
You know.
You see some of those on top of decks, right?
Yeah, connected to houses. I've made all sorts of different configurations for people that were over garage doors, that were hanging over their porches, and you know. And so what I do is take Western red cedar boards and, you know, put that scallop on it. And so that's the other item. That's another thing that I make.
So now you primarily sell to other businesses, or if somebody wanted to come and get some of this stuff?
I really don't sell retail.
Okay.
I just sell wholesale, and I'm really a manufacturer. Gotcha. And so I just sell to supply houses. Some of the smaller people who got me started, some of the retail fence companies like Ashland, Reliable Fence in Ashland, you know, Mr. Fence in Bellingham's. These are some people that buy directly from me, and then I sell to places like Northeastern Fence Supply up in Saugus, and Spalding Fence Supply out in Worcester, and then I have other more chain. Master Halco is a chain of fencing supply houses around the country, but they use this product in our area. Connecticut, New Hampshire, Philadelphia, Massachusetts. Those are the branches that buy this stuff, and that's who I sell to. And then L.R. McCoy is another broker of stuff that sells around the country. They carry my products. And the last one is Lumberman's, which is another pretty big outfit.
It's a big outfit, yeah. Well, geez, Bill, it's a true family success story. The name of your company, MayCraft, and your father, his nickname was Max.
His real name was Max.
Oh, it was Max.
And I named one of my sons after him as well.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah,
that's neat. It's great to see, you know, how your father started this, like you said, just as a hobby, and it transformed into this type of business. Good for you.
Thank you.
And so, Bill, if someone's watching this show and wants to get a hold of you, maybe they have a question on a fence post, or maybe they want to put in an order. Maybe a supplier out there watching this. You never know. There's a lot of people watching BizBuzz out there.
Yeah, you never know.
How do they get a hold of you?
Might have a cousin who has.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You never know. How would they get a hold of me?
Yeah.
My telephone number is 508-533-4594, and that's in Medway. That's the shop number. And then you can look at my website, which doesn't have any pricing, but I use it as a reference for my customers, just if they want to show pictures of the products, at maxcraft.net.
Okay.
And then that's about it.
Great.
That's great.
Well, Bill, thanks for that's. Yeah, we're going to close up the show here. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Great job.
Okay. It was nice to meet you both.
Likewise. Thanks.
And so that's going to be it for BizBuzz this evening. From your hosts, Joe Soares and Mark Leone, thanks very much for watching, and check out us on Facebook, BizBuzz, keyword. Thanks very much, and have a great night.
Good evening.
Girar, o mundo girar.